Okay, what is up, guys, girls? I wonder if girls watch my mechanical breakdowns. Probably not. All right, so it's your boy Robby Rowe. We're gonna be doing Jacob deGrom. I've done probably 13 Jacob deGrom mechanical breakdowns just because I think he's the best mover in the major leagues of baseball. And he's got a new Rawlings contract apparently with a dope haircut. This is his spring training. Shout out MLB on Instagram for throwing these up. Dope cleats. But I synced these two up. They're both slow motion videos. So I synced them up and we got a little side by side, open side and back side. Before we dive into this breakdown, the ebook, complete guide to pitching mechanics. It's going to be about 200 pages. I'm actually going to do a coach's edition and a player's edition. Coach is obviously going to be a little bit deeper dive. But the reason why I bring that up is because I'm going to be giving away 5 free copies of this ebook on my YouTube. All you got to do is be a subscriber to my channel. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. And once the ebook rolls out, I will be doing a series of videos, and all you got to do is leave some comments on those videos. So there's that. Yeah, let's get into this breakdown. All right, so I'll try to just do a total breakdown here because I've done mini breakdowns of deGrom of things that he does extremely well. So I'll just do the whole entire delivery. All right. So it's slow motion. So you got to bear with me on the little scrolling feed. So first and foremost, all right. So I talk a lot about the initial move and how I believe the initial move is going to set us up as pitchers for an efficient delivery throughout. Okay. So what is crucial within the delivery? Timing. All right. And what are some things that can influence timing in our delivery? Rhythm. I look at pitching mechanics like a dance. I'm a sensational dancer, if I say so myself. Just kidding. Maybe not. All right. It's you need rhythm, right? Rhythmic movements in the dance accomplish or complement the entire system of that dance because it flows you into the next movement. So when I look at timing, obviously timing and positioning is probably the biggest piece to the pitching mechanics in general. So what influences timing? What helps with timing? What are some things we can do? Rhythm, incorporate some rhythm. All right. So what I love with Jacob deGrom is he has a hand rhythm that matches his feet, almost like a pendulum rhythm, down to up. All right. You see a lot of guys do this. I did this self-study the other day of just going on MLB.com and looking at statistics of pitchers from 2020 that had like the best walk rate. And every single one of the guys in the top, maybe like, I think I looked at the top 5, maybe top 10 of the best, essentially the best last year at commanding the baseball. They all did some sort of hand rhythm. Okay. So just to give you some deeper context on hand rhythm. So deGrom's going to start high, go low. Okay. So now we have belt. And then once he gets his foot into a position that he feels comfortable with, then his hands are going to go back high. So you create this rhythmic type movement that complements the following movements and the previous movements. Okay. So once we see him get his bearings with that drive foot, okay, I really like how he kind of takes his time, right? He's not in a rush. He takes his time getting his bearings with that drive foot. And once it's in the position that he wants it to be in, now the hands and the feet are going to match. So the hands are going to go up when the foot goes up, just like so. And as soon as this move occurs, now we go into the next stage of the breakdown, which is forward momentum in the initial move. Okay, so forward momentum, you're going to see deGrom, one of the best accelerators in the game. You're going to see as soon as he starts to initiate his leg lift, the hands obviously go with it. And now you're going to notice center of his body going forward. You really see it in that right video right here. As soon as he gets approaching peak leg lift, he's instilling forward momentum in the initial move. Forward momentum in the initial move, I have a lot of context on this on my website. I would encourage you to check it out. It's going to help a lot of the timing of certain things that are going on within the delivery. I look at forward momentum is essentially as a way to have the body signal to the brain like, hey, we're going to be getting going and we need to make sure that we are doing a good job with the timing of our rotation. So a lot of guys, that struggle with, the positioning of their hips or the timing of when their hips rotate and things like that, of all that deal with timing. You look at their forward momentum, and a lot of times they're guys that kind of defy forward momentum. We talk a lot about drivers and accelerators, but they don't get anything going forward until they descend to peak leg lift, and then you'll typically see a minor correlation from that move to maybe a late hip rotation. But you instill a little bit of forward momentum in the initial move. I believe that complements your timing of hip rotation. So anyways, forward momentum in the initial move with deGrom. I've done a lot of videos in particular with deGrom and forward momentum and increasing acceleration rate. He does a really good job of coming down from peak leg lift and then absorbing drive leg energy. I did another breakdown with him and Brady Singer with forward momentum without stabilization or with stabilization. So with deGrom, he does a really good job of not only increasing his forward momentum and increasing his odds to accelerate greater, but he also does a really good job of stabilizing this energy in his drive leg. So now you have two components of the delivery with your acceleration and your force. Okay, so when we look at velo, we're going to be seeing a commonality of, I think it's just a physics equation, right? Is force times acceleration. And your boy ran out of room, so yeah, you get it. All right, so velocity, force times acceleration. So now you have both. When we stabilize energy in the drive leg, that gives us a much better job to apply optimal amounts of force into the ground. And now we get him going throughout his drive phase. This is where I see the importance of capacity, movement capacity, right? So he does a really good job of allowing his drive leg to dictate his acceleration rate. He's not being overly aggressive with his lead leg to essentially like force your acceleration, which you see a lot of breakdowns from younger guys who just see acceleration as an importance, and they just shoot for acceleration. And usually you see this lead foot being dominant, and then as a byproduct of that, you'll see the drive leg kind of collapse early. Doesn't do a great job of stabilizing and absorbing, producing, and storing energy. So as he gets into his drive phase, you can see he's pretty much center stacked with the trunk over the pelvis, center mass. And now this is where his drive phase, you can see he does a really good job of so many things, man. I'm so jealous. I just saw his spring training outing today. March 16th is when I'm recording this, and saw a sequence of him going 101, 101, 100, 94 slider. Okay, so now what we have is equal opposites. Okay, we have capacity here of the hips. All right, so we have we're still connected to the ground, and he's doing a really good job. You can't really see it in these two angles, but you have, I guess you can see it, how this kind of side of his jersey is counter rotated. So you have counter rotation throughout his drive phase. Okay, so now at this point is when you're going to see this knee start to kind of come close down to the ground. This is the hip, the rear hip. I like to kind of simplify this for younger guys, is just the rear hip rotating. Okay, so hip internal rotation will start to occur. You'll see as a byproduct, the knee will start to collapse to the ground. Collapse isn't the right word, but fold into the ground. All right, and as this is occurring, as the hips are rotating, he does a good job of maintaining a neutral trunk by way of essentially a little bit of counter rotation here of the upper half. Okay, so now magic's going to start to happen. I like to see a timing of the knee going down and the hand going up. Okay, so when we look at the kinetic transfer from drive leg energy and sending that up the chain is before the point of anchoring, we want to make sure that our hand is in an optimal positioning to then be absorbed once we block energy with the lead leg. So boom, hand comes up. Now stay focused on this glove side. I really think he does a great job of the glove side staying connected, matching his throwing arm, and you can still see the way that his jersey is still maintaining counter rotation as this puppy's still going. So we have hips into rotation. You can really see it over here on this angle. Let's keep going. And then now you can really see those puppies going with the hips. And you almost have this, this equal opposite cause and reaction. What's that phrase? Cause and effect, I guess. So as this elbow is going to initiate the retraction, the rear hip is going to continue to rotate. So you have like all of this rotational energy being built up. And I wish one of these videos showed his foot so we knew when it was going to anchor down, but you can see that by contracting of the knee right here, that's his anchor point. And you can see that he did such a good job of maintaining neutral trunk. Talked about the trunk counter rotation, this rear hip into rotation. And this is the whole conversation of like the lead leg block. And all you got to do is with the lead leg block, just position your hips accordingly as you anchor down and let gravity influence the block and knee extension, right? deGrom's someone that doesn't really even extend the knee, like, a Verlander or someone, but you can just see at the point of anchor, he's positioned his hips fantastic, about 45-degree angle here, which is going to influence the block of energy sending up the chain, and now his upper body can absorb that and then accelerate. Okay, so I wish I can see his back ankle from a different side. I'll have to look at a different video. That's something that he's done differently, I think, in spring training of this year compared to last year. Ankle eversion, staying connected with the heel a little bit longer, delaying, maybe staying a little bit linear throughout his drive phase. I'll have to get a center field view of that. Yeah, that's nice. All right. Front side stays locked in, and then this is something I actually want to dive deeper into, like my research on this. But he does something pretty fascinating with his glove side scap retraction. Like if you were to look at him from center field or from the front, like his glove side elbow is like right here is just as much retracted as his throwing side. I want to do some more stuff on that. I know Charlie Morton's another guy that does that. And then now as he rotates pelvis over the fixed femur, this is when we block our energy, send it up, absorbs, and then you can see he not only accelerates his arm, we talk about like what induces arm speed, but not only does he accelerate his arm into a greater rate of acceleration into his slot and into ball release by way of his trunk. Right? You delay your trunk long enough, you keep it neutral until you anchor down. Now you have a lot of built-up rotational torque, and you can accelerate your arm when you launch from stretch. You anchor down with the front foot, you absorb the lower body energies coming up through the chain, and now your trunk initiates its rotation. As it goes, it's going to pull your arm through. You're going to use your bigger muscle groups to pull your arm through. And deGrom's a really long and uses his levers really well, and actually does a little trunk flexion to bring even more acceleration into the equation. Late launch, glove side stays locked in. You can see the knee isn't in full extension, but accomplishes trail leg hip extension, not flexion. That's a really good indicator for me of effectively transferring all of this drive leg energy into the front, so you don't have any built up energy wanting to shoot kind of forward. So owning extension of the hips, look at the layback here, shoulder external rotation. We talked about how he accelerates his arm at such a great rate due to the timing and the positioning of everything, and inducing or recruiting bigger muscles to go into his throw instead of initiating his trunk rotation early and having to really force pushing. And then this component here, I want to do more stuff on this as well. You're going to see as soon as he gets from this point into his slot, you're going to see that glove side even get more locked in. Boom, there. So although it looks like that glove side's being pulled into his trunk's just going to get his glove side. So that's why I tell with like a lot of younger kids, we look at like the glove side mechanics, and trying to teach glove side mechanics. And honestly, like I see why a lot of individuals will teach glove side mechanics. I think it's a natural kind of byproduct of just efficient trunk rotation. But a good thing to look at with a lot of high power output pitchers is they don't pull glove side in, right? Like It's not a pulling effect. Go get your glove side. Use your trunk to go get your glove side, which will influence a better angle of your trunk posture at slot or at release slot. This is him at release point. I know you can't see it with any of these videos, but if we looked at posture of his trunk in correlation to his lead leg, you can obviously see that it's out front, right? We're maximizing shoulder extension. That's what we want. And then keep it going. Arm deceleration, good pattern there. I just love looking at guys, man, especially guys like deGrom. I could just watch this all day, and I'm just talking to myself. Everyone asks me, like, hey, how do you know so much about this and that? It's like, dude, I just observe. I'm just curious. All right, so that's Jacob deGrom. Shout out MLB Pitchers Nation for supplying the video. And as I mentioned, be sure to hit that subscribe button for a opportunity to win my complete guide to pitching mechanics ebook. It's probably going to take me like another month to complete it, just because I'm going to be doing 2 copies now. But hit that subscribe button. Check out therobbyrowshow.com/pitching for more mechanical breakdowns. And as I mentioned, within this whole entire 16, 17-minute video, there's a lot of sub components that I mentioned with forward momentum, trunk rotation, trail leg hip extension, all of these things. Like, there's more breakdowns. If you're interested in learning more about that, head to the website. Also, if you're somebody that wants me to analyze their pitching mechanics, you can check out the link in the description and you can book your analysis. But until next time, always a pleasure. Love you guys. God bless. See ya. All right, dudes, thank you for watching that video. If you're interested in booking your own analysis, be sure to click that link. Also, I'm going to be doing a lot of giveaways here in the upcoming months on my YouTube channel, but you need to be subscribed in order to be entered in those giveaways. All right, so you're going to click that link right there to subscribe, which provides some more context on the specific thing that we were just talking about. I included a video right down below. All right, guys, enjoy your day. God bless. Until next time.